So the cars are making their way now to the grid ahead of this second event simulation. 25 laps of racing around Donington Park, and then we will find out who has won the second event simulation. The last chance for these guys to get out on track and in racing action before the season gets underway. My name is Jack Nichols. I'm up here in the commentary box. Alongside me is Dario Franchitti, and Dario, it's a constant learning process for these Formula E guys, and I think it will be right throughout the season, but this is one of their last chances to get it right before the season begins.
Yeah, absolutely right, Jack. They've got to get it sorted here. All your work between races is based on the data you're going to collect, and these guys are going to be doing that.
The green flag is waved, and here at Donington Park, we're waiting for the lights to come on, and we go green at Donington, and away we go. Let's see who gets a good start. It is Sebastian Buemi who holds the lead on the run down towards the first corner, but is this the fan boost in action from Jaime Alguersuari? Quite possibly. He takes the lead around the outside. Into second place then goes the Edam's car. Third is Nick Heidfeld. Fourth is still De Grassi. In fifth place is Frank Montani. So he's made up a couple of places. He's got past Nico Prost as we go on board with Sebastian Buemi in second place as they all fan out, coming down into the old hairpin for the first time. Everyone's safely through the first few corners now, and Montani is on a charge, trying to get now around past Lucas De Grassi for fourth place as they climb up the hill towards McLean's for the first time. We're on board with Sam Bird, looking back to the cars behind. De Grassi unable to get past. There's the look up the inside, and Bird loses out to Takuma Sato, who's got an excellent start as well.
Sato's made up a load of places, hasn't he?
Yeah, he is up there. He's made about 5 or 6 positions from the back of the grid, Takuma Sato. On board we go with Bruno Senna now, chasing Nico Prost into the chicane.
So much for it being a race simulation. We're 3 wide here.
And here comes Frank Montani to take both De Grassi and Heidfeld into the chicane. Great stuff from the Frenchman, and that moves him up into third place from 6th on the grid. Wonderful start from Montani as they wind their way through the Fogarty S's for the first time. It's Alguersuari in the lead. Here comes De Grassi back at Montani down into the hairpin, and De Grassi retakes that third position. But you're absolutely right, Dario. Simulation.
Yeah, exactly. That was like another cracking move there. I think it was a fan boost at the start there, definitely, for Alguersuari. Really a big advantage. So let's see if Buemi can close him down. He's a little bit quicker in qualifying.
On board we go with Sebastian Buemi then across the line, and you only get one fan boost for 2.5 seconds, so that is it done for Jaime Alguersuari. He's got the lead of the race away, but he's influencing the result, not necessarily defining the result with that fan boost as they come into the first corner, absolutely nose to tail in the middle of the pack. We're on board with Sam Bird looking back at Takuma Sato, which is the battle over 11th place, so Sato's gone up from 19th to 12th on that opening lap. But Sato needs to be careful because he's got Matty Brabham right up behind him. They're running absolutely nose to tail now as they come up towards McLean's again. And there's Sato following through on Chanduk. He's just got the inside line and he forces his way past the Indian. And I think Matty Brabham came through as well.
Looks like
yes,
it.
He did.
Nice move there. I mean, Sato only knows one way to drive, maximum attack, and you're seeing it there, absolutely. Carving his way through the field. So and there's a lot of side-by-side action for, I mean, that's lap 2. Really, really impressive.
So we are, well, actually, 7/10 of a second the gap came down by in the first sector. Buemi's in the lead of the race, is he? He looks like he's got past Jaime Alguersuari, or is Alguersuari further up the road? What has happened there? And I can't see any sign of the Virgin car. So Jaime Alguersuari, our race leader, let's see what happened. Down into the Fogarty S's. That's Alguersuari up in front.
Uh-oh.
And he's slowed down, and that was close, wasn't it, with Buemi?
Close. Wow.
So
Buemi didn't even lift, did he?
No, so Sebastian Buemi takes the lead of the race then as we move on to the third lap of the race, and it's Lucas De Grassi right up behind him coming down towards Redgate. It's second place for De Grassi, it's third for Montani, fourth for Heidfeld, fifth for Prost, sixth place is Daniel Abt, and here now is Sam Bird overtaking Antonio Felix da Costa to take 8th place away from the Portuguese driver. And there is Jarno Trulli up into 14th place at the moment, and now attacking Takuma Sato, and he goes through up into Coppin.
Absolute cracking move.
A bit more action, no. Daniel Abt not quite close enough to take 3rd place away from the Venturi in front, and then it's nose to tail behind between Prost and Senna, which is something I never thought I'd say in commentary. I thought I was too young for that. But awesome stuff here in the event simulation 2 here at Donington Park. 20 laps to go. And there are the standings. Buemi, Montani, Heidfeld, Abt, Prost and Senna, the top 6 at the moment. Then we've got Bird, Brabham, De Costa, Conway, Chanduk and Cerruti completing our top 12 as De Grassi now starts to make his way through the order after losing time with that little problem. And Stefan Sarazan is back out on the circuit. So we've got all 20 cars running at the moment.
Yeah, Montagne's just catching up with Buemi just a little bit, 3/10 that last lap, so expect a battle for the lead here pretty soon. This is when that strategy comes in. You just max it out, or do you try and just save a little bit of power for a bit longer first stint?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a very interesting battle between well, here we go on board with Senna as he looks to the inside of Prost, coming down towards Redgate here at Donington Park. And,
was that close enough for you there?
Yeah, exactly. It's impossibly close. And Senna goes through into the Melbourne Loop. And is that exactly where Senna got Prost in '93? It was there, wasn't it?
I think you're right. Was it outside on that? I was standing there that day.
Really?
Yeah, I was on the grassy banking watching that whole thing unfold. Mind blowing. Lucas is coming back through the field in a hurry, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how far up he can get.
Yeah, that's true, because we've still got 19 laps to go here at Donington. Look at that, he's already disposed of Felix da Costa. He's going for Cerruti as well. 2 in 1 for Lucas de Grassi. He is on a mission now.
That's impressive right there. Wow.
Fastest middle sector for Lucas de Grassi on this lap as well. So he's not only going past people, he's also got the pace to be running at the front like his teammate Daniel Abt, who's in 3rd place at the moment. As we go on to lap 7 of 24.
Just sent the fastest lap there, huh?
Yep, a 1 minute 38.968 for Lucas de Grassi. And there is our race leader, Sebastian Buemi. Frank Montani, look at that, sideways coming out of McLaren's. He is pushing hard, and he's just 0.7 of a second behind the race leader. And there you can see Bruno Senna has been closing in on Nick Heidfeld for the last few laps, and it's now down to just half a second. That's Heidfeld in front. We are sitting in the nose of Bruno Senna. There goes a very resilient corner marker. As Abt comes through, now here's the battle into the chicane between Heidfeld and Senna in 4th and 5th places.
I think that corner marker is going to be gone by the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not gone by now, actually.
Me too.
And there you can see the last lap for Senna was half a second quicker than Heidfeld, and his best lap has been a couple of tenths quicker. There's our 1st and 2nd place men, and everyone drifting it through the first part of the chicane. Really spectacular to watch. But look at this action coming down into the right-hander, and that is a great move as Matty Brabham goes past Sam Bird, and that is to take 6th position away. So the Andretti car looking strong. Nick Heidfeld has now pulled to a halt on the inside of the Melbourne Loop. And he was running up in 3rd place initially, started in 3rd place on the grid, but now looks to be out of the race. Antonio da Costa has just done his fastest lap of the race so far, 3 seconds quicker than Sam Bird in front of him. So Bird perhaps turning up the heat in order to fend off the chasing da Costa. We go on board with Bird now, and it's in his mirrors he'll be seeing the blue Amlin Aguri car all over the back of him, as Heidfeld has a little look to the back of the Venturi. But that's definitely the race over for him. Here comes da Costa up the inside into the old hairpin, and he goes through to take 7th place. But it's now Senna running in 3rd place because he goes up the inside of Daniel Abt into the final corner, and they both come into the pits. So right at the last minute, and look at this, they're all coming into the pits on the same lap. So Buemi, Montani, Abt, Senna. I think we might have had Nico Prost coming in as well. And here's a look at a driver change then. This is Sebastian Buemi, who was in the race lead, climbing out of the car, gets over into the other car. It's going to be, they've got to be reasonably swift, but this isn't the limiting factor. And here's Nelson Piquet, both of the Team China cars coming in together. It's made quite a nice little view as they now clamber out, leaping over to the other car. That was some real desperate running from Nelson Piquet Jr. As we were just on board with the Abt car of Lucas de Grassi, who still, despite 2 problems, is running in 11th place, right up behind Mike Conway, as they come up towards the right-hander of McLaren's now, looks to the inside line, and should be able to get that done under braking. Degrassi goes through, and he takes 10th place away from Mike Conway.
That was a beautiful pass there. It sounded like he was lifting a bit down the corner curves, which was a big surprise. Maybe that was some part of the regen. And again, I think that's where Lucas's experience with these cars will come in. Matthew Brabham slow in there on the straight.
And that's a shame for Matthew Brabham because he was running in 5th position, so the Andretti car running into troubles.
Two proper hard chargers here with these guys, so it's interesting to see. Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's a bold one, isn't it? Down into the fog of DS's,
yeah.
And he gets it done. Even in a simulation, you've got to rely on the guy in front checking his mirrors. If
this wasn't a simulation, I'm not sure Frank would have been quite as polite as that, but you might learn a little bit here where the EDAM's car is a little quicker.
Look at this, side by side between Montani and Buemi. Buemi on the inside line, but Frank Montani is trying to fight back as they drop down the hill. Hard racing from these two, and it looks like these cars are really sort of raceable.
Absolutely, and I expected nothing less out of these two. It's really wait till it actually matters. You're going to see some crazy stuff.
Essentially, Montani and Buemi are doing battle for the lead of the race at the end of the day.
This just got really juicy, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So all that side-by-side action means that it's now going to be very, very entertaining for the last 6 laps of the race, because these are our 2 leaders. Antonio Felix da Costa ahead of Bruno Senna, who slows down very dramatically, covers the inside line, and Jarno Trulli goes past on the outside. Now here is Sebastian Buemi, and Nelson Piquet is about to pass him, so Buemi has run out of juice essentially, and that's allowed Frank Montani in the Andretti car to pull clear now, and it looks as though Andretti will be taking the victory in the event simulation 2. And Frank Montani's slowing. So Frank Montani, who looked set to take victory, is slowing for the Andretti team on the final lap of the race, and it'll be so interesting to find out if that's just a management battery life issue, because Sebastian Buemi's running into troubles as well. He's got Lucas Degrassi all over the back of him. The good news for Buemi is that Charles Pic is about half a minute behind, so if Buemi can get to the end of this race, he will be able to, in theory, take victory. There's Sebastian Buemi then to take the checkered flag. That's Nico Prost, his teammate. So Sebastian Buemi takes victory. Here's a look at the results then. Sebastian Buemi taking the victory and 25 points in event simulation 2. Antonio Felix da Costa finishing 2nd. Bramlin Aguri, that'll boost their morale no end after a troubled day. Jarno Trulli equally finishing in 3rd position after all that for the Trulli Formula E team, having avoided a drive-through penalty. Sam Bird finishing in 4th place for Virgin, 5th for Daniel Abt, 6th for Charles Pic, 7th Bruno Senna for the Mahindra team, 8th Nelson Piquet, 9th Lucas Degrassi, and 10th Nico Prost, completing the top 10 and completing the points scorers after event simulation 2 here at Donington Park. 11th for Karun Chandok, 12th for Mike Conway for the Dragon team in the run he shared with Aurel Severe. Stefan Sarazan finishing down in 13th place ahead of Brabham and Montani, who ran a lot higher than that in the, well, even in the late stages, but running into trouble towards the end. Kumasato 16th, Jaime Alguersuari, after leading the race initially, finishes down in 17th place with Heidfeld, Cerruti and Jerome D'Ambrosio. And there's the simulated trophy for Sebastian Buemi. Doesn't hold it aloft, but 2nd and 3rd for Da Costa and Trulli, and they'll no doubt be pretty pleased with that, I'd have thought.